Hey everyone. It's been what, a week, 2 weeks since the last video update, and I've made quite a bit of progress. Some new UI element additions and numerous bug fixes and subtle tweaks to the overall interface. So I figured it was time to give you yet another update. So some of the subtle tweaks that I've performed on the main editor screen, the main menu, and within the editor itself is just some animation transitions here. I've added tooltip text as well, so you can see just by hovering over the ellipses the particular view that it pertains to, and as you can see, a subtle animation sequence is kicking off. Same is true for the arrows. There's a little fade transition going on, and for the context menu. Let's see, we're going to go into text games view, and let's go in for GameCube. Alright, so let's edit this view for this. Actually, let me just back out one more. Let's pick a different game. Yeah. Alright, cool. And alright, so let's go over some of the new UI elements that I've added. Whoops. That's the problem with having a camera in the top right. Anyway, I've added a new banner type called BigBox Banner, and it's purely based on the banner images that you would download via Launchbox. Okay, so in this case I don't actually have a banner for this particular game on this platform, so let's see. There you go. So we do for SSX on tour, and this is a test machine. I haven't downloaded all the metadata and media on this particular system. I purely use this just to test out my themes and obviously my editor in 4K. Most of my work is actually done on my laptop, and that's where most of the artwork and media metadata all exist. But anyway, this UI element is specifically for those banners housed within the Launchbox images folder. Okay, so it's very limited in what it can do. Alignment, opacity, it's real basic stuff. How you wish to stretch, and then some basic effects. And if you wish to place the image inside a particular shape, you can do so using an opacity mask. Okay, so it's real basic, but it's perfectly fine for those people that do not wish to spend a great deal of time constructing their own banners. Okay, or custom banners. So I'm just going to leave that up there, and then let's see, I added banners, and let's see, publisher image. And here I'll just point it to a subfolder containing a slew of PNG files that are named in the same way as the publisher themselves. Okay, so as you can see here, Electronic Arts is the publisher, so it would just simply do a lookup, electronicarts.png, and see if that file name exists in this subfolder. If it does, the image comes back, the image is returned. Okay. The same is true for developers. So let me just add this one real quick. Whoops. Would help. Developer image as opposed to developer text. There you go. And again, you point it to the correct subfolder housing all the images, and there's the developer. So the developer and publisher in this case are the same, EA. Okay. Again, it all depends on how much time you wish to take. You know, grabbing all the artwork pertaining to publishers and developers. The option is certainly there for you to do so. Once you've grabbed all those and placed them in the appropriate subfolder or subfolders, then you can use these UI elements to simply display the corresponding artwork as opposed to using text. Choice is always a good thing. And let's see, I have, okay, so completed, favorite, portable, and broken. They all use the same code, and I'm going to focus on, let's see, favorite. Okay, so again, just go in and add, and it's favorite, and all we have to do here is supply, I think it's bits and pieces. I think that's where I stored it. Yes, that's where I put it. And then if there is no value whatsoever coming back, no true or false, then if you want a third state and say, I don't know, I've got an image that says, I don't know. So it looks like this, I don't have this defined as a favorite, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to add a frame real quick just to make this look a little neater. I mean, I could certainly add it down here. It doesn't, I'll put it down at the bottom. Let's see where it is. Favorite. I'll just put it there for now. Let's see if I can center it. And while I'm at it, why don't I just center, and I'll save. And let's see, I don't know if any of these are defined as favorite in GameCube, but I know I have some favorites in PlayStation 2. I thought I did. Yeah, there you go. All right. So I just need to correct the Z order, put the frame underneath the check mark. Okay. So let's do that again. I'll go here, and I can scroll down through my games. Okay, and as you can see, it's off. So a value is always being returned. It's either true or false. You know, the favorite is either a true or it's a false state. If for whatever reason an empty value, null value is returned, then that fallback value that I specified, which is don't know, would then be utilized. But in this case, in every case, I've got a false value being returned. And because I didn't place a corresponding false.png image out there, it's not returning an image. And that's what I want. That was by design. All right. So let's see. There you go. So I did have SSX3. So that's how you can have graphical representation of the broken, portable, favorite, and completed. And you know, for broken, you can do all kinds of weird and wonderful things. You could have a broken piece of glass that you could overlay over the top of the video. and that way you would see that right off the bat you would know that this particular game is broken. Just a thought. Um, let's see. Yep, I do have another one. So this one's kind of interesting. Um, I've extended my plugin to have another converter, and the converter will actually return the state of a battery in a portable device. So if you were if you were using BigBox on a laptop, or if you were using it on a GPD Win or Win 2, for example, like I do, you may want to see the battery state um, at some place on your theme. And up until this point, I've actually been using another member's user control to do that. But I found that for certain themes it was fine, but for others, or especially a theme that I'm developing right now, it just wouldn't work. So I had to think, how could I make well, first of all, can I make um, define a piece of code that will actually give me what I need, and two, it needed to be flexible, i.e., utilize your own artwork. Okay. Um, so anyway, I did figure out the code, and yes, you can use your own artwork. So I'm going to show you on here um, a new UI element called battery indicator, and I'm going to set it to number of percentage bars 5. Okay, so each bar is 20%, and I've got all the graphics housed inside this subfolder called battery indicator. And because I'm on my desktop, it's not going to show anything at all. Okay, it's not going to pass back a value um, that represents the am I plugged in, am I being charged, what's my battery percentage. Okay, but in this case I have a fallback value, so I'm going to force it to display an image. Let's see, battery indicator. Why are you not showing? Oh, hello. There it is. Good Lord. All right, got there in the end. So I forced it to use basically 100% in the battery, and I'll describe the naming. I'll explain the naming convention in a second. So let's see. I want it centered and centered. And just so that you can see that you can apply effects to it as well. Let's do 15, 270, 80, and 10. It's a bit much. All right, you get the idea. So let's go over this. So these PNG files prefixed with a 0, that means that the device is running purely on battery, i.e. there's no AC power going into it at all. It's not plugged into the AC. And it's certainly not being charged. Okay, so it's strictly giving you the battery, the remaining battery life in percentage. And like I said, it's in 5 bars. It's really up to you how you want to draw the batteries. So you can represent it in 4 bars, you know, each bar 25%, 5 bars, each bar is 20%. And I've also got up to 10 bars, so obviously each bar is 10%, okay? And that's why you see these PNG images 1 through 5, 1 through 5, okay? Now, the PNG image is prefixed with a 1. Now, that indicates that the portable device is actually plugged in, okay? And hence, that's why I'm showing the plug. And as you can see, yeah, all right. And then the last set of PNG files prefixed with a 2, that means it's plugged in and it's charging, okay? And again, 5 bars, each bar 20%. So what will happen is the converter from my plugin will just simply pass back a string like so, and then it will tag or append .png to that string, and then look in the folder that you specified here to go and grab the corresponding PNG image and then display it. So you can now have a battery status or battery indicator, and in your own graphical representation. So complete flexibility there. And in addition to, which unfortunately I can't show, there is no workaround on this on a machine that doesn't have a battery, but you'll just have to take my word for this, is that here would be, you could specify the font and size of font, and it would actually have the battery percentage in here. So 100%, 67%, whatever it may be. And you could place it either next to the battery, or you could simply place it over the top of the battery. Whatever you want to do. That way you can see exactly how much battery life is remaining. All right, so those are the new UI elements, and let me just discard these changes for now. There was one thing that failed in the last video when I was actually performing the publish, and that was once it actually created the target theme folder, the problem was the fonts, not all the custom fonts were being copied into the target theme. So let me just minimize this a little bit and punch up and I'll show you what I mean. So that was Fair and Illuminate, fonts, and there you go. Okay. Just as a FYI, I've got 3 different PCs. They're all new. I'm logged in with the same ID on all 3, and yet Windows is configured different on each one. So I happen to find out that on my laptop, which I use for development, the fonts are stored within what is it, C/Windows fonts. However, on my desktop, where I perform all my testing in 4K and obviously recording, the fonts, custom fonts, once installed, they're actually located in a local app data Microsoft Windows fonts folder. So my routine kicked off, it was looking for these installed fonts, couldn't find them, didn't know anything about that subfolder, so it couldn't copy them. Now it's aware of them, I know where to get them from, and lo and behold, they are now being copied. So that is pretty much it. I just wanted to go through it real quick. I've got wheels, lists, styles, transitions, storyboarding, and theme maintenance, and alternate views or filter criteria here. That's outstanding, but the list is pretty short, and most of the code already exists. It's just not engaged, and obviously I haven't tested it. Yeah, I will be posting another video in a couple of weeks, and with a bit of luck, fingers crossed, the published themes will look a little bit more lively, engaging the big box transitions and stuff that you're all very well accustomed to. Okay, so I'll see you in a couple of weeks.